Well, the Blue Jays season has ended. It's ended in heartbreak for baseball fans across Canada. I'm here with Rob Longley to break it all down. Rob, the season's over. A lot of people are talking about firing the manager, Charlie Montoya. What do you got to say about that?
Well, with apologies to the not so silent majority on social media and to you yourself, if you believe it, Mark, it's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard to fire Charlie Montoya. Most of the arguments about it are questioning decisions he made in April and May and June with the bullpen. If you're going to go by that logic, are you going to not try to get Marcus Semien back because he threw a ball in the dirt in Detroit on August 22nd? It's ridiculous. This team would be nowhere near what they were this season without Charlie Montoya. He was the calming voice in that clubhouse. He was the guy that kept Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette on track. He worked in consult with pitching coach Pete Walker, and those two are probably the best tandem of that in all of Major League Baseball right now in terms of improving pitchers. So the idea of firing Charlie Montoya after a 91 season, just 2 years after they had 95 losses, to me is completely ridiculous. If you're going to fire him, maybe 20 or 30 games into next year if they have a poor start, but heading into this offseason, not a chance.
All right, Rob, two big looming free agents with the season over, Marcus Semien, Robbie Ray. What do the Jays do to keep both? Can they keep both?
Well, it's really intriguing, Mark, because both of those guys, Ray and Semien, were a huge reason for their success here this year, a big reason why they finished just a game out. But it's going to be next to impossible to keep both of them because each are going to be looking for multi-year offers that are likely going to be in the 9-figure range, so topping 100 million each. They already have one of those on the books with George Springer. Maybe they can afford one of them, but it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes down because these guys are going to get multiple offers from around baseball, and at that point, it becomes a matter of preference with them. If it were me, I think I'd focus on bringing back Marcus Semien. Here's a second baseman who had 45 home runs. He was a real veteran leader in that clubhouse. All the young guys, Vlad Guerrero and Bo Bichette and Lourdes Gurriel and those guys all looked up to him. And he was a real silent leader, led by example, and was a huge influence on this team. The difficulty, though, is he's from California. He's got 3 young boys, all under the age of 5, and he wants to go back to California. So it's going to take some money to keep him. And maybe the idea of if he's going to sign the biggest contract of his life, a 5-year deal, maybe it'll be enough of a lure to come back to Toronto and play with a team that should be a serious contender for years to come.
Okay, Rob, you just said serious contender for years to come. I'm wondering, looking back on the season, 91 wins, was the season a success for Blue Jays, even though they didn't make it into the postseason?
Yeah, I think it was a huge success. Now, team president Mark Shapiro will tell you that if you don't make the playoffs, it's by definition not a success, but he'll also tell you that, this team made huge strides in 2021. They were a team that was feared by most in baseball. Teams all around the American League were glad the Jays didn't make it to the postseason because they would have been a real threat to go deep. And if you look at the blueprint of this team, they really started tearing it apart in 2018. 2021 was by design going to be the year that got them to the lip of being contenders. And really, I think 2022 is the year that they're hoping to be a serious threat in the American League. All they learned and all they went through, especially in September this year, where they had so many must-win games. And don't forget, they played in 3 different stadiums, home stadiums all year, and that was a real burden on them by the end of it. So yeah, I think it was quite a success for them to win 91 games for only the second time since their World Series years in 1993. That's quite a statement, and I think it's quite a reason for some serious optimism going forward.
Who's going to be the breakout star of 2022?
Well, I suppose it would be hard to call him a breakout star because he had a heck of a year, but I think that Bo Bichette takes another step forward next year. He showed us a lot this year. You have to remember too, it was his first 162 game season, so that's a grind. I know baseball isn't a physical sport like hockey and football, but going that long for essentially an 8-month season, playing every day, it takes some getting used to. And we saw him in September. He was a real force at the plate. He improved dramatically defensively, and I think he's going to be one of their best players in 2022 and beyond.
Okay, before I let you go, Rob, I got to get your postseason picks. We still got a month of baseball left.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, unfortunately, the Jays aren't in it. A lot of people thought that they should be. The Yankees are out, so I guess that's good for some fans. But I'm really intrigued to see what happens in the American League, and specifically, can the Tampa Bay Rays follow up what they did in that shortened season last year, or will the Houston Astros be able to take them down? I think whoever emerges from the American League will be a serious threat to win the World Series.
Okay, thanks a lot. You can catch more of Rob in the pages of the Toronto Sun and the National Post. Let us know what you think down below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.